Now, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is hopeful after Donald Trump's election victory as Netanyahu tries to reset ties with Washington. The big question is, will Trump force the Israeli Prime Minister to end the Gaza war? Our next report decodes what Trump's victory means for Israel.
Israel is escalating its assault across multiple fronts, and amid the raging war, its Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has congratulated Donald Trump on his election victory with exceptional warmth, seemingly eyeing a reset of Israeli relations with Washington. Netanyahu is among the first of the world's leaders to dial Trump and discuss the Iranian threat. Across Israel, there is a palpable sense of relief at Trump's sweeping triumph. Many hope the new president will allow Israel to go after Iran more aggressively, while pushing Netanyahu to wind down wars and bring home its hostages.
I'm
very happy that Trump won because I hope he'll make peace here, that he'll make peace and we'll have a good situation in the country and we'll go back to the north and back to the south. And he'll calm things down because I believe he's able to make peace with the Arabs and to keep them on a short leash.
There are a lot of fears that Trump's unpredictability could further complicate Netanyahu's hazy strategic vision, even as he vows total victory without defining the terms, and trying to improve his standing in domestic politics.
I'm a little worried about Trump because he is, in my opinion, a frivolous person. And he can be frivolous towards us as well. But on the other hand, he made the Abraham Accords, made other agreements, and I hope that he ends wars.
Trump's return also comes at a time when signs of pressure are emerging from the Biden administration on Israel. But the Israeli Prime Minister may not get it all his way. Unlike Biden, Trump does not have to fear that Netanyahu will hurt him politically at home. The new US-Israel power relationship could witness a change, given that politically the new president is better placed domestically. Trump has made two things very clear. He wants Israel's Gaza campaign to end when he takes office, and also a quick Lebanon deal is in place. The Iran-backed Hezbollah has also expressed its willingness for a ceasefire.
The actual commandment of Hezbollah is also demanding a ceasefire. And today the chief of the party, Sheikh Naim Asem, said the same. And as you know also, the government of Lebanon is also asking for a ceasefire, which he has the approval of Hezbollah for that.
With Netanyahu pushing his maximalist aims in Israel's multi-front war, he cannot be all too sure that Trump will support his strategic priority of destroying Iran's nuclear program. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
Helit Barel is a former director at Israel's National Security Council. Madam Barel is now joining us live from Tel Aviv. Madam Barel, thank you for making time for us and welcome. Many of those who voted Trump back to the White House say his policies were way different than those of Democrats, and they were inviting as well. And he did repeatedly say during his campaigns that if he were president, there won't be any wars in the world. Now that he is president again, do you have hope that he will remain true to his words and rhetoric, especially on West Asia region?
Well, I really can't predict how he will act once he's president. But he has committed more than once and mentioned in his speech as well, his victory speech, his desire to see wars over, and had spoken specifically before about the wars here in Lebanon and Gaza, the conflict here. So I am assuming that the message that's coming from the incoming Trump administration will be bring this to an end. And so that is probably what we will hear from him. It remains to be seen whether by the time he enters the White House in 2 months, that will still be something that he will need to impose, or whether, as we have been hearing over the last few weeks, things are coming to some sort of a movement towards closure, at least on the Lebanese front. So it might be that within those 8 weeks, there will have been serious movement.
Madam Barrell, now that it looks like, or it is, that President Joe Biden is a lame duck president until January of next year, when Trump does take office, what do you foresee will happen in the next 1 month in West Asia?
Again, it's very hard to say because of the different political influences that fit in here. Strategically, it seems that Israel has certain goals in Lebanon still to achieve, but generally is probably in an operational way ready to move towards reaching some sort of regulation, even though that's not going to be easy because there are very far-reaching demands and needs that Israel has in order to make sure that its northern border is protected and that a second October 7th can't be prevented. But at least that is on the table, is being discussed in a pretty intense way. On the Gaza front, it's harder to say. We heard yesterday from Prime Minister Netanyahu, unofficially, but news sources here have spoken about how this still, will be a prolonged issue and so on and so forth. Very unpopular message for the Israeli public here who want to see our hostages come back and feel that even waiting for a Trump administration, which is within 2 months, is too long to wait to wrap this up. The feeling that the elimination of Sinwar from the scene with Hamas should have brought to some sort of breakthrough in creating a deal that will bring back our hostages. So very hard to know what will happen in the next 2 months. And of course, President Biden is called, many times.
We seem to have lost Khaled Barrell. Khaled Barrell is a former director at Israel's National Security Council. She was joining us from Tel Aviv. We'll try and connect with her, but let's just move on now